you'd like for me to address it now, if this is the time, or if you want me to wait.
What's the feeling of the board? Do you have a problem with this gentleman speaking to his item now, since he is here?
I don't, but if I was his advisor, I would say to do it in March when it's more fresh in everybody's mind.
When it comes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm not your legal attorney, so.
Thank goodness.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I'm still somewhat confused as to how things go forward. I mean, it's kind of individually, kind of collectively, but
If you want to go ahead and just review what your application is for and why you feel like should be part of the plan, that would be helpful. If not, then you can talk with us at a separate time.
I don't know. My non-attorney has advised me to wait, so I guess I'll wait. I mean, I'm happy to talk about it either. But talk about it? Okay.
Yes.
You mean you're going against my advice?
It's not very smart.
So much for that career, Mr. Pinches.
It's a request from Rangeland 160 to Ag 40. It's in Hopland off of Highway 175. So you can see this. You can see two maps. This one shows the parcels. So, as I said, the request is to go from Rangeland 160 to Ag 40. It's hard to see on this map, but you can see that our property, I own it together with my brother, has 4 parcels that are 40 acres or less that actually abut it, share a boundary with it. On the north side, on the furthest to the left, furthest to the west is 19.1, I think. And then you see 39.56, and you see 17.11 there. And then in the bottom left, you see 38.96 acres. It's similar, I think, on Highway 175. Before you arrive there was another property. It was to Betty Delaney, I believe, and that was also zoned Rangeland 160, but her parcel in reality was not Rangeland 160. It was 20 acres, I think. So Patrick has told me that was the same circumstances, basically, that in the process outside of the Ukiah Valley area plan, there was no charge really to look about the actual map, but any changes to the map. Those changes were only to take place inside the Ukiah Valley area, or I think there might be some other areas. So even though the reality on the ground is that it's surrounded by several 40-acre parcels, and none of them is none of the parcels that I own, those 2 parcels there, are 160 acres. They're far short of it. It's still designated that. So in any case, Patrick's been very helpful, and I want to thank him and thank everybody. And I just think that if you're updating the general plans from 1981, you ought to fix these designations. If it's not a 160-acre parcel, it should reflect in reality what it is, and also it should take into account the reality of the parcels on the ground that are adjacent to and abutting it. So Patrick has simply said he's not, they're not allowed to take that into account. So it's also similar to another request, as I've written you, besides Betty Delaney's, to the Opats family request, which is in Yorkville. That was similar. That was Rangeland 160 to Ag 40, but that one made it into Category 1. So the difference between our two is that theirs is surrounded by Rangeland 160, but across the street they had some, that's Delaney, So just down the hill on Highway 175. So if you see, it's surrounded by rangeland 160. Another thing to say about mine is I found out in this process, which I didn't know before, I think a piece of mine is designated public lands also. So I think that's something that ought to be corrected. And I think if you're going to make the change to do the correcting it, it should be, that's a 60-acre piece. It should be, well, I think logically, Ag 40. So this is that the OPETs? No.
Staff is trying to pull up the OPAT's request. It should be noted on where it shows a sliver of your portion in public land. That's just a misalignment of the layers. There's no portion of your property that's public lands.
Okay, well, that's good to know. The OPAT's request.
Okay, here we have the
2007.
Yeah, we have the request right here. Let me bring that up a little bit. The difference between the two is there was already a designation of 40 acres in existence, and they had requested an Ag 40 request because of the similar designation of the RMR 40. They would have also been happy with an RMR 40. That would have just represented an expansion of